Okay, virus notes, part 2. So the taxonomy of viruses, how are they classified? So viral taxonomy, we know the family names end in Viridae, genus names end in virus. Okay, the viral species, it's a group of viruses sharing the same genetic information and ecological niche. Okay, common names are used for the species, and subspecies are designated by number. Example of that is COVID-19. It was the COVID virus, the year 19. Okay, or not 19, version 19. Okay, so think examples. Herpes viridae. Then you have the herpes virus. Human herpes virus 1. HHV2, HHV3. That's all examples. Then you have the retroviridae, the lentivirus, and then it's the human immunodeficiency virus 1, or HIV. HIV1, HIV2. So the herpes virus, on the left you see what it looks like under a microscope. On the right, that's what causes cold sores and all that fun stuff. The adenovirus, look at it under the microscope. And look at the animated version so you can see it a little clearer. That's your common cold. The flu virus, if you look at the differences between the cold and the flu. The cold's more circular, where the flu's more elongated. Chickenpox. If you haven't had the chickenpox as a kid, you will get it as an adult, FYI. So that breaks you out in these little very, very itchy red bumps. Okay, the papillomavirus, aka warts. Okay, that's what it looks like under the microscope. So there's a couple different ways you can identify a virus. Whether it has RNA or DNA, they'll have one or the other, so that's going to help classify them. If they do or do not have a protective envelope, what the capsid shape is, and what host they affect, or infect, not affect, infect, okay? So let's talk about bacteriophages, my little space aliens, that's what they remind me of. Okay, so your phages, they're viruses that can attack bacteria. Okay, and so therefore they're called bacteriophages, or you can just say phage. T phages are a specific class of bacteriophages with the isohedral heads, aka what makes them look like the space alien. Okay, it also has double-stranded DNA and tails. The most commonly studied T phages are T4 and T7. They infect E. coli, which you know is a bacteria that lives in your stomach. The 6 small spikes at the base of the tail are used to attach to the host cell. It then injects viral DNA into the cell. So your E. coli, a bacterium. So they have attacked this bacterium. Just kind of look at the picture. E. coli is always very rod-like shaped. Okay, look at how here is the isohedral head, and here's where that DNA is stored, and then it's going to inject it down through. Okay, so on this isohedral head, it's 20 triangular surfaces. Okay, the capsid contains the DNA. The head and the tail fibers are made of protein. So let's talk a retrovirus. The retrovirus is a little different from your DNA or RNA. Okay, so this one contains RNA, not DNA. It's from the family Retroviridae. It contains the enzyme called reverse transcriptionase. Okay, when the retrovirus infects a cell, it injects its RNA and reverse transcriptionase enzyme into the cytoplasm of that cell. That is a mouthful to say, guys, FYI. Okay, so look at it. So you have your lipid envelope, your receptor binding proteins, then your RTase, reverse transcriptionase enzyme right here, And here's your viral RNA. And then here's your core proteins. Okay, this is what the retrovirus looks like. So the enzyme, I'm going to say RTAs for lack of a better, which causes synthesis of complementary DNA molecules using virus RNA as a template. So what it's basically doing is taking the host's DNA, telling it it's got to replicate again, but instead of it splitting and using that DNA as a template, it is using the virus's RNA as a template to bind for proteins. HIV is a retrovirus. Feline leukemia is also a retrovirus. And that's where we're stopping on these. Next one will be up will be viroids and purines.